hung jury. I mean, no pun intended. You know what that means?
The whole jury.
They were split. What happens if you're prosecuted and there's a hung jury? Anybody know what happens to you? No, you're not guilty. You walk away. And that's what he did. He walked away. Okay? So he was brought back and tried, hung jury resulted, and he was set free. Now there was a little bit of good news. When President Andrew Johnson took the presidency, he kind of studied up this a little bit and decided that Dr. Mudd and Samuel Arnold maybe weren't as much of this as they should have been, so he pardoned them and set them free. And I think that was in 1869. So Dr. Mudd and Samuel Arnold were pardoned by President Andrew Johnson in 1869 and were set free. Unfortunately, Michael O'Loughlin died in prison before he could be pardoned. So who are we missing out of that? Edmund Spangler. He's the only one, right? Edmund really didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure why he got a bit of a break over maybe O'Loughlin and maybe some of those other guys, but I think he made the right choice at the right time by not being involved. Remember, Booth gave him his horse and he gave it to the young peanut vendor. Spangler kind of walked away from this as well. Okay, that is going to take us to our last subtopic of this test material, which is the South's reaction to the assassination. The South's reaction to the assassination. And this is going to set us up for our next topic later on down the line. Okay, Meg, what do you think the South's reaction was to President Lincoln's assassination? 99.9% of the kids I've ever asked in my 38 years will give you that answer.
What they said?
They were actually more shocked than saddened. Okay? They were some saddened. Now, do you remember, and you don't remember probably what he did, but do you remember Confederate General Joe Johnston? Remember there was Albert and Joe, and Albert was killed? He's one who was wound filled with blood, remember, when he did an artery in his leg? Well, Confederate General Joe Johnston, who survived the Civil War, Confederate General Joe Johnston, when he heard about Lincoln's assassination, he said, quote, "We have lost our best friend." We have lost our best friend. That's what Confederate General Joe Johnston stated. Why would he say that, Rachel? This guy spent 4 years fighting this man's army. Why would he say that we lost our best friend? Carla?
Was it because Lincoln was making it easier?
Absolutely right. He knew that Lincoln was trying to be kind, to get the South. He wanted to do what to the nation? Unite the nation, right? And he was going to make it much easier for the South to come into the Union than who?
Congress.
Well, not so much Johnson, but who?
Congress.
Yeah, the Radical Republicans. Johnson is a Southern Democrat, okay? You might think in your mind that he might even be easier than Lincoln might be to let him to come into the Union. The problem is the South, after Lincoln's assassination, is going to be treated more like a conquered country than they are rebuilding into the Union, because the Radical Republicans are going to make it difficult. You're going to hear a story in history. President Andrew Johnson's going to have a terrible time replacing Lincoln, because what is he going to fight? The Radical Republicans in this process of trying to heal the Union. Now, Andrew Johnson was no saint. He hated black people. He hated them, okay? He called the Reconstruction, or what did he call it? Doggone it. Instead of saying the Reconstruction of the South, I forget what he said. You'll hear it in the video. I'm kind of losing my mind here. But anyway, he didn't believe in a lot of things. He was a Southerner, okay? And this is going to be a battle with the Radical Republicans to try to unite this country. And they're going to pass legislation to try to get him impeached out of office, and it's just going to be crazy, okay? So when you think of all of that, Confederate General Joe Johnston was right. The South lost their best friend because Lincoln's plan for the South was going to be much more generous than the plans of others who were going to gain control at the time, being the Radical Republicans and to some point the new President Johnson. So because of this, the South is going to be treated like a conquered country, and then that is absolutely not what Lincoln would have wanted. Am I correct? Okay, well, we will start this movie, Lincoln's Last Day, and those of you that won't be here tomorrow, it's very bright of you to come in and bring a flash drive and stick that on there and take it with you to debate, or wherever you're going to be gone to.